guys, so I'm just on eBay today and just thought I'd talk to you guys about these little satellite dish dome things. Basically, they're like a dome with a satellite dish inside of them. There you kind of see this tailgater here. It has like a clear dome and you can see the dish moving. That's kind of cool, actually. You see the dish inside it and how it works. I think it's kind of a neat technology, but that's just too much. I mean, just for a satellite dish that will automatically aim it for you. Now, if you got this money and that's not a problem for you, cool. I'll put a link to one of these in my video. If you can buy one of these. So they're programmed with software that will go to the Dish Network satellites, which would be 119 West and 110 West and 119 West. Those satellites, and there's a few other Dish Network satellites. It's a very small dish compared to if you were to hold it next to your Dish Network dish. The problem with these things is the smaller dish makes it so you don't get as much signal. I mean, they're cool. They're little robotic self-pointing dishes, but they're probably not the greatest. Even if you're a Dish Network subscriber, I'd recommend just buying a separate Dish Network dish, putting that like for your camper or cottage. Or if you're going to be at a location where you're bringing your receiver with you, I'd recommend just getting a second dish. And if you're not moving around too much, just fix it on a certain location. I've even seen trailers or campers with the dish mount bolted to the side of the camper. So when they do go camping, you just got to get that thing facing south, pointed at southeastern position, and get it that way. It's kind of the cheaper way of doing it. Here's one that's popular. It's the Tailgater. It's just simply you set it out somewhere. And another thing you're going to need when you're aiming a satellite dish is you're going to need line of sight. So if you take this to a campsite and it's just a woods area, it might not work for you. So here's a more expensive one. This one comes with a receiver. It's an interesting product here. They got it like on their barbecue. It looks like their barbecue actually in this picture. We're gonna barbecue a satellite dish. Throw a steak on the satellite dish. So this one, it does have the receiver, and some of these things you'll need the receiver to do the positioning of the dish. I haven't actually used one of these things. I've just manually set up dishes, but I have people have asked me about them. Now, the one thing I really want to emphasize to you people that you got to make sure you do your research if you're going to buy one of these. Make sure it works with the service that you currently are provided to. If you got DirecTV or Bell ExpressView or Shaw Direct, make sure you do your research that these things will work, because they won't work for all of the satellite services. I do know for a fact, because I used to have Shaw Direct LTSS, the Shaw Direct dish uses a linear KU band LNB. Bell ExpressView dishes use a circular KU band LNB, so they're different types of LNB. What I recommend, if you're looking for something for your dish when you're out camping somewhere, is a tripod. Or just get a mount. Or you can get a mount on your camper or even on a tree. Now, I've put a mount on a tree. The thing about putting it on a tree is when the wind blows, the tree moves and the dish will move. I have put one of these things in a very woods area, and the only line of sight spot I can get. Best option actually would be to dig a hole in the ground, get an auger. I've rented one from a tool rental place. Dig a hole in the ground with an auger about 3 feet deep. Put a pole, put your dish there. These dishes are not that expensive. Another option I recommend is get one of these tripods. This is like the whole dish and the tripod. Here's a tripod here. So you get a tripod. The only thing with a dish is that annoys me is this part here is never long enough. Like the post, I just wish it was like maybe 3.5 feet just for the dish to fit on it, especially a motorized dish. But I got a couple of these tripods and ended up having to get a longer piece of pipe that goes inside it there. And another thing what I did in my brilliance is I took where you got this part here that you attach to it. Now this is made for so that you can attach to a roof. I just took some boards, put some screws on it, and then I throw sandbags just so the wind doesn't knock the satellite dish over again without burying it in the ground. This is kind of my temporary, actually I have one like this on my deck. Just set it on my deck, I throw some salt bags, some sandbags, other weighted items, and have it there with my motorized satellite dish. When a really windy day happens, it might blow this thing out of position and you may have to readjust your satellite dish. So bear that in mind. But this is a great solution. At $30, I've seen these things for like $20 on different places. I'm just going by, looking to see what's on eBay, the other stores. I'll have links in the description of this video. So this is probably a better, cheaper, and probably will work for you, better solution for having a satellite dish with a camper. Another thing I recommend that would probably be cheaper than those meters is get like one of these cheap finders, $40, different sites. Looked around. Even in the publicity shot, the screen is scratched up. You don't think they couldn't have gotten... No, it is going to look scratched up. Most of mine look scratched up. But see, this thing that I have that's similar to this, I think it was called a free set. There's several different brands that make these in the factories overseas. They have all these different brands. When I bought mine, it said Diemco on it, and it shipped to me, and it said free set on it. You'll find GT Media versions of this. In general, they're all pretty much the same device. This thing has... So yeah, these are pretty much the same device, different brands. You'll find them some cheaper than others. Some of the cheaper ones may not have all of the latest video codec, so it may not have H.265. This one does. You'll see the European type outlet for North American shoppers. Check in the descriptions of the different videos. I'll put one in the description of this video with the North American outlet plug part. One thing I do like about these devices is I had a power outage, and I was able to plug this into the satellite and watch the C-band satellite, watch the KU-band satellite with the power out. So it was kind of a good backup to have. My battery lasts about 6 hours of continuously running it, and then just go out in the car, charge it up if there's a power outage, and then you'd have TV. So this is kind of like your backup emergency TV if you've had an ice storm or something like that that's caused a power failure. But these are great if you have a camper and you want to aim your satellite dish. What I recommend is if you're a direct-to-home satellite consumer, while you're at home, scan in the channels with this. Now, if you're a direct-to-home, Dish Network or DirecTV or Bell ExpressView or Shaw Direct customer, you can scan this guy in. All the channels are encrypted, so this thing can't pick up the encrypted channels, but at least it'll tell you if there's signal quality. And these things work a lot better than those little silly things that make all the beeping noise. Another meter I recommend, it's a little bit more expensive than some of those cheaper ones, but I have a Sathero, and there's been times when I've set up a satellite dish, I was trying to get a weaker signal. The other device was not picking up the transponder I was looking for, and the Sathero was able to lock. I found there's a little bit of a better sensitive tuner in these Sathero devices, which are a little bit more expensive. So if you're interested in free-to-air, I get this question. One of the most asked questions I get, can I get free-to-air channels with my old subscription dish, which would be Dish Network, DirecTV, Bell ExpressView. Those three, well, I always have a hard time with this question because I live in Canada, and I do know that Dish Network and DirecTV do have some dishes that have linear KU-band LNBs on their little fleet of different LNBs that they have in the front of the dish. So that you'd have to do a little bit of research on. But a lot of those dishes are too small to really get decent free-to-air signal, because with a lot of the true free-to-air channels, they use a linear KU-band LNB. So with those types of LNBs, you want to have a larger dish. That's where I recommend get one of these larger dishes. Here's one on eBay for $119. That seems to be the price. It looks like around $22 shipping because it is a large package. This is a 36-inch dish, 90 centimeter. So that's about 3 feet, and it comes in a box. And this one does come with an LNB. So that's a good deal. Has the LNB holder. Make sure you got one of these. Also, there's other products I've seen. Now, one thing, this one, he's promoting a channel. Everything's really decent about this setup. It has the dish, the LNB, the coax cable, but this receiver, I don't know if you can see that there, that SCART. That's not HDMI, that's SCART. So this thing, as far as I know, only does Mpeg 2. So you want to watch out with older free-to-air satellite receivers that they can do DVB-S2 and Mpeg 4, because some of the newer, this was a receiver from 2000, I guess it's the 2000s decade, like from maybe between 2000 and 2010, and it's 2020, and it's not HD. You want to get a receiver that does HD, and this one doesn't do HD. I really like, I've been asking other sellers on eBay would they sell a package like this, like your cable, LNB, dish? Because people want. I've talked to people that want a package where they can spend somewhere around this amount of money. I have seen it for a little bit more money than this because the receiver is good, newer one. So the newer receivers are about $88. So another one I like, and I do recommend this one to people, but I've noticed this seller here, Electronica, they don't have the LNB with the dish anymore. I think they took that out of the deal. You'll have to get an LNB. This is actually a good dish. 39, so it's, I was recommending a few seconds ago a 36-inch dish. So this is a little bit bigger, but with a little bit bigger dish, you're going to get better signal quality on some of those weaker transponders. For example, the NBC transponders over on 113, the NBC transponders on 103 West, and Cozy TV tends to be a little bit weaker, so it might be nice to have something a little bit bigger than that. Please check out freesatellitetv.net. And also check out the new shop where you can order free satellite TV, LNBs, receivers, and dishes. All sorts of things for your free-to-air needs over at the freesatellitetv.net shop. And for free-to-air, I recommend this, especially for people starting off, is an Amico. This one is a HD H.265, which really is a newer codec that is being used by satellite companies. Sometimes you'll laugh that the remote is actually bigger than the receiver. The receiver is similar size to what an Android box is, but it's not an Android box. It's just a satellite receiver. I just recommend this one because it's ease of use to get set up, scan in some channels. It's shipped in the United States, and they're small now. I mean, they're like the size of an Android box. If you go back in the old days, C-band satellite receivers were giant tanks. This thing will receive C-band, KU-band, everything, and it's all digital. Another thing for free to air, if you do buy a dish and you need an LNB, I recommend maybe trying this Maverick KU-band PLL LNBF free to air satellite linear free to air LNBF. I'll have a link to this in the description of the video. And this LNB, this should work with most North American frequencies. So it says here L.O frequency 10750. So that means that's what you enter in on your receiver where you go to enter your input frequency. And they come with a little thing that you put over the cable. So some of these things you might want to crypt your cable after you put this part on, the waterproofing thingy, because you might not be able to fit a crypt cable through that. So in cases, what I have done before is I've cut the cable, put this thing through, crypt the end with the compression tool, and then attached it that way. Some of these LNBs will have like a little degree indicator, so you know what your skew is. So if you're running a motor, it should be on 0, but if you're actually just doing a fixed dish, you may have to adjust your skew just by a little bit to get the signal in. Now, if you're gonna set up a free-to-air dish and wanna have a motor that will automatically find all the satellites, I recommend getting one of these things. I've done a whole video setting up one of these Motec SG2100 satellite dish motors. So I actually have one of these on my tripod on a KU-band satellite dish outside. It does have the holes through it. That was one thing I was not, as you see in the picture here, there's holes for the dish because I need those holes for the dish to fit through, the type of dish I'm using. And it's round, where I've had other motors that work for a different type of dish, and I'm able to get all of the satellites all the way from 87 West to 125 West for the PBS channels, and all the satellites in between. And I get the signal. If you use USALs, you get the signal, you got it set up just right, you should get all the signal perfectly along the arc. So I've done a video setting that up, so check that out in the description below or on the end of this video and the recommended videos. Alright, so if you want to reach out, check out the free-to-air satellite TV North American channels, plus over-the-air, plus streaming group on Facebook. There's also a group like this on Minds and Gab as well, and we discuss free-to-air satellite stuff. We help new people who are getting into the hobby to get things going, and you can find me over here at YouTube. Please remember to click the bell when you subscribe. That will help you'll get the latest notifications. Hey, I'd like to reach 100,000 subscribers. I'd ask that you click on the video tab, and there is where you'll find all my videos that might be harder to find, that YouTube algorithm may have forgotten about some of these, and there's some great information in these videos.